Electricast.
There are people out there all across the country pushing boundaries to grow the game of golf. Like champion speed golfer Lauren Cupp, who plays faster than anyone else. And Will Lowry, whose work in the golf community inspires more kids to get into the game. As a champion partner of the Masters, Bank of America supports everyone determined to find out what's possible. In golf and in life. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America. Bank of America N.A. member FDIC, copyright 2025, Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
The kids are still at practice, and I have no idea what's for dinner.
You can get a rotisserie chicken and 2 sides for just $15 in as fast as an hour with Walmart Express Delivery.
Who said that? Who's in my house? Don't play with me, because I'm not the one.
It's just your friendly Walmart announcer. This is a commercial.
Oh, okay. You were saying dinner for a family was just $15?
Yep, it'll be at your door by the time you get the kids home from practice. Order now. Welcome to your Walmart. Subject to availability, restrictions and fees apply.
Now that was a helpful commercial.
Oh my God, it's Missing the Point. It's the Power Ranking Show. We're back. We are back because the NFL is back. So yeah, we had Bobby power rank the top 10 teams. Often controversial, great talking points. It's our most consistent show across the whole channel. And we're going to be here with you every week talking about the best 10 teams and other storylines around the NFL because the NFL is the gift that keeps on giving. I'm here with Rayshawn Buchanan, who I was also having some fun with on the MTP Boston show on Monday. And the real BK Bob Kelly, my longtime co-host of the Power Rankings and the creator of the week-to-week list, the controversial coined term, the real BK's Power Rankings. Bobby, you're back. We're back. Are you? Mike asked me the question on their show. How excited am I that the NFL is back? I was like, well, Sunday was tough. I was suicidal in the first half of the Bears game. But how are you now that we're all back and the NFL is back? Are you excited? Are your Sundays improving?
I am. It was a good NFL Sunday. It was a red zone Sunday for me, which you got to do week one. I feel like, but yeah, no, I'm excited. It's great to be back. It's the Power Ranking Show, which is, like you said, the most consistent one we do. So I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
You were just saying before we started, you always come in late to the Power Ranking Show. You're a relief pitcher a lot of the time as we start to come down the stretch. But here you are, week one. How do you feel about being able to kick off the Power Rankings Show with us? And how do you feel about Bobby's top 10 list? No spoilers yet, but overall, what are you thinking about what he's put in front of you?
I'll address the first part first. It's great to be on here right away. Like you guys said, it's the most consistent show that we do. Probably definitely one of the favorites of that we do on here by far. And yeah, I've been more of a Mariano Rivera, but now I get to be a Pedro, and I get to be in the starting lineup. So this is great.
Tooting your own horn there.
Yeah. So yeah, no, love the list that we spoke about this morning, and once again, I thought it was pretty consistent. There are some surprises in there, so you have to stay tuned to hear the rest of it. But I'm excited. So let's get to it.
Big market tease. I like the list for the most part. It's less controversial than some of them were down the stretch at the end of last season. From my perspective, seems fair. But before we get to that, a couple of honorable mentions of things that happen around the league. I want to hear your guys' take on it. Ray, we discussed briefly the Friday game, the money grab or whatever it was for the NFL in Brazil. The coverage was terrible. The announcers were the B team, the C team, the D team. The volume levels were bad. There was no graphics packages to speak of. Jordan Love bruised his MCL. Could have been worse. The field was dog shit. Do you ever want to see another Friday game? I know legally we can't have them during certain dates because of high school football across the country, which is good news if you ask me. Why were they there, Ray? Why did they go to Brazil? Why does Jordan Love have to sit out for 5 to 6 weeks now?
Is that true? Because of high school football?
Yeah.
It's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, we spoke about the other night. That was news to me too. So Dave gave me something that I never heard of before.
It was part. You remember when they were had the original broadcasting companies back in the day when they started striking up deals when there was 5 channels and the NFL was gaining popularity. A big thing was kids' dads need to be going to their kids' football games. Instead of staying at home to watch pro football. It's a more wholesome law than I guess you would expect from this horrible place that we live, but there it is. It exists on
Yeah.
the books.
I mean, honestly, there's maybe about 5 or 6 states that really have strong football states for high school wise. So I would say Texas,
It might fuck up Texas if you have to do
Texas,
both, right? Like,
California, Florida, Georgia, and honestly, Ohio and Pennsylvania are pretty big too.
what would happen to the city of Dallas if Dallas were like playing a Friday night
Listen,
game? If the Cowboys were playing a Friday night game and the high schools there were all playing Friday night games around the suburban areas,
But honestly, those, as someone who has family down there, like I said, my brother played, I think, at the school down there called Wilmer Hutchins. Like, they have stadiums that have 60, 70,000. Like, it's real out there. Like, it is.
oh, I've seen Friday Night Lights. Don't worry about me. I'm schooled on the Texas. Texas.
We'll be Clarke over here. I love it.
Their eyes full of hearts can't lose.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's a big thing out there. So I mean, I think that they would find a way, but yeah, they would definitely complain about that at some point. But there would be enough people to go around. Hey, you 3 go here, the other 3 go to AT&T Stadium and call it a day.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Bobby, what do you think of that Friday game? I didn't like it, but it seemed like you were into it 2 days in a row.
I liked having football 2 days in a row, but like you said, the presentation was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
It was so
The-
garbage. It was like
the
they just
sound-
decided to do that the night before.
The sound was so off. Like, at times you could hear the "Go Pack Go" and the Eagles chant over the announcers, which was annoying as hell. And then the field. So, like I said, I love having football on Friday, but that field was unacceptable for an NFL game. People
Yeah.
were sliding all over the place, and you called it too. The Jordan Love injury. What, he's out 4 to 6 weeks now?
It could have been worse. Yeah, it could
Could've
have
been
been
a lot
worse because
worse.
his knee popped. I was like, oh, I feel like that's an MCL. I said it right away. I really thought it was torn though.
Yeah.
I'm getting better, I think, at spotting the ACL and the ACL injuries because, like there's a few rules you can sort of apply in your head where if he walks off the field, that doesn't actually necessarily mean anything if it's the ACL or the MCL because that's all about like moving left and right. I think like exploding like left and strafing whatever it is, but like obviously your knee's fucked. You can't get any explosiveness into it, but you can walk a lot of the time. And then sometimes it's more of a pop than anything else. So I was really thinking, oh shit, his MCL went. And even as a Bears fan, I didn't want to see that. Like I was still riding the hype of like coming into the Bears season thinking we were going to be like half decent this year. And I didn't want to see, I wanted to play Jordan Love. I wanted to see that battle. You never want to see a guy get hurt like that, especially when he shouldn't have even been playing the fucking game in the first place. Like that's the part that's annoying to me, I think, is that he was out there at all on a Friday night in Brazil. And I know it wasn't necessarily the field that popped his knee. I know it was Jalen Carter, right? Was the guy who was like down by his legs, and he like shouldn't have grabbed him like that. And actually, I think he was still technically in the pocket, so it was like I think supposed to be a roughing the passer if you tackle him below the knee for that reason. But the game was like a nothing burger by that point. That was the worst part of it, is that he, it was a Hail Mary maybe, and then everyone was going to the showers. So, I'm glad it's not as bad as it could be. He'll be back. The Packers season isn't entirely written off, but yeah, I mean, to your point, Bobby, Jesus Christ, they were sliding all over the place. It was like watching the Mighty Ducks, not two teams from the NFL. I guess there was some spike replacements at halftime, but it didn't seem to help much.
It really helped, yeah.
Packers are definitely an honorable mention too.
I think they looked good up
Yeah,
until
yeah.
up until they got beat, right? I mean, they were playing against a team that on paper should be better than them. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, it's like I know a lot of people were waiting for like an Eagles implosion or something was going to be weird because Kelsey's not there and everybody was bagging on Sirianni so hard at the end of the last season. And, he doesn't really, I'm not really sure what he does there. I'm not really sure Nick Sirianni's job is in Philadelphia, but like maybe he can't do any harm. And I thought both teams looked good for what they could do, but I'm not sure I saw like a ton of like, I don't know everything about either team's offense or defense, Jordan Loveless or not, right, Ray? I mean, it's
No.
without seeing a little bit more. I mean, Saquon, I think, was the thing we could probably say was probably going to go really well. Like it was.
Well, I mean,
it's always going to go really well. It looked like it did.
Their line, even with losing Kelsey,
Still elite.
it's still really good. So, and once again, he's an elite running back. So
Yeah.
it's not like you weren't getting a guy that was dominant in 2018 and then fell off the wagon. Like he is someone that is doing damage still. So yeah, everyone realized the mistake that it was that New York had let him go, so seemingly. But yeah, I mean, listen, what is one man's trash was another man's treasure, and that's what's happening there Philly, so far in week 1. And we'll see how it goes. But to your point about, people waiting on the Philly demise, now with all of us in our mid-30s, Philly's been good a majority of our lives. Yeah, they've only been in 2 Super Bowls in our time, but that's 2 more than most. They've been good. So whether it's McNabb, I think we were kids, it was, I think Ty Detmer was the quarterback then, obviously before us, Ronald Cunningham. Like they've always had decent players in there. But the buzzsaw that was the Dallas Cowboys in the 90s, like they weren't better than them, but they were always around the way. They just couldn't get over the hump, until
Yeah, I mean,
2017.
I wouldn't classify them as like not a good franchise. I think they've always been sort of thereabouts historically. As far as the current Eagles go, let's save it until we get to power rankings because spoiler alert, they're in there. Bobby, what did you think of the Pack show with Jordan Love in there? I mean, I thought he was playing like shit up until the injury. To be totally honest with you, I thought there was a lot of problems in there. It wasn't meeting the hype expectations that I think a lot of people were metering out for Jordan Love over the course of the offseason. I don't think that would continue. I do think he's a good QB, but there was moments of like, what is he doing?
Right. That's why they're not on this list. Is even before the injury, I feel like they would have been an honorable mention. Just because to me, those Love expectations are overblown. I'm not sure. I know he played really well at the end of last season, but I just don't know if he's as good as everyone thinks he is. So that's why, I'm just not feeling the Packers this year. Plus the injury now. So, I mean, that knocks him down a peg even more. So
a little too sexy maybe of a pick in the offseason. But again, I mean, we haven't seen enough, I don't think, of the Packers. I mean, I hope you're right, obviously, for selfish reasons. But Ray, what did you think of their performance prior to the injury?
I mean, they seem somewhat confident. I mean, obviously, when you come off the mini run that they had, like there should be some type of confidence to say, like, hey, like we should be able to build off that. And once again, they hung in right there with a team who many believe to be a contender, if not the contender in the NFC. So they should be proud of that performance. But at the same time, you got to finish, and that's something that we talked about on Monday quite a lot. It's about finishing the deal, and they were unable to for this one, but. It's again they're gonna have to tread waters though, because having Malik Willis in there once again, who I think the 3rd round pick a few years back, like he was someone that people thought could be maybe a borderline starter, decent backup.
Yeah,
So now he's gonna get shot.
There was
So
like a 1 week storyline where Malik Willis was like a starter, maybe a 1st round pick in the NFL
yeah,
draft. I remember that
yeah. I
specifically.
mean,
So you never know.
obviously he goes to Tennessee.
Fucking bad in the 3 snaps that he played. I just like to point out.
It
was one of
really
the worst
wasn't
3
great.
snap
He
series
really
I've
bad.
ever seen.
Okay.
I think.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, listen, I think he's already reached what he's possibly going to be. Like he's just going to be another version of Tyrod Taylor. And once again, I hate to.
Tyrod Taylor balled out this weekend.
Great, but I'm like he's
Once he
not
went in late in a game after.
Yeah, late in the game, right? You know what I'm saying? So let's see. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. But I'm pretty sure.
Taylor
They'd be lucky to go 2-4 in these next few weeks. Like they'd be lucky.
Agreed.
For the record, breaking news before we move on from the Packers: Matt LaFleur has not ruled out Jordan Love for week 2.
That's gamemanship. He's not gonna play. That's gamemanship.
That's extreme levels of gamesmanship.
It is. I mean,
out
it's
for
like,
5 weeks, and he's doing this already on week 2.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Like this. Come on, just say, hey, we're happy that it wasn't a complete tear, because it is a tear regardless. It's just maybe not the level that
I thought it was a bruise.
Oh, but this
A sprain. I thought it was a sprain.
I thought it was a sprain, not a bruise. It was a sprain. So the sprain is a tear, but it's just a matter of the grade. But he's not going to play Sunday. I mean, come on, like that's not, and he shouldn't play. Once again, you just signed him to a long-term deal. If he's out for a few weeks compared to the whole season, you take that all day. So. It's about protecting the investment. Like you can't just put him out there just because, you think that he's at 80%. Like you need him to be, you need him at 100 or close to 100. So there's no way he plays Sunday. No way.
Yeah, no, I doubt it.
Yeah.
And I also think that it's going to be some bad quarterback play, just for the record.
Right.
But which I don't hate. As we move on to the other side, I guess, of the NFC North, Bobby, would love to get your take about the Bears' debut, Caleb Williams' debut against the Tennessee Titans this weekend at home with all his weapons. Seemed like it was the perfect, ideal start against the Tennessee Titans team that are not good. I will say their interior defensive rushing is still really good. The thing that Vrabel built in there to build off is still exists. I'm not sure we'll play defensive tackles that good again for the rest of the season, but in saying that, our O-line looked absolutely dog shit. Caleb couldn't break 100 yards in the air. Didn't throw any picks, but didn't score any touchdowns. In fact, the offense didn't score any touchdowns, period. We had to do everything on special teams and defense, which is the most Bears shit ever. So what'd you make of them? What were your circumstances of watching them? Tell me about your opinion of Caleb Williams.
I felt so bad for you that it was.
You should have, because I was fucking in a dark place.
Well, because it was like this new era of Bears football. Yeah, you still had to win the game in the most Bears way possible.
The fact that we won that game is a new era already.
Yeah, but like,
Right.
it was just funny to me because it was like, okay, we're getting an offense finally, and then you had to do everything on special teams and defense, like you said. So it was like the most fucking NFL scripted. If you know, like,
it was dark at halftime in my house, dude. It was quiet.
That's like the Cowboys blowing a 31-point lead, but then winning in overtime.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, yes, that makes complete and total sense.
By the end,
I wouldn't have
honestly,
had
by the end, I was like, we're so back. Like, we're so back. Like, we're here. This is exactly what I love about the Chicago Bears. If this is the team, I'm good with it. I like, honestly, at least for a year while Caleb finds his feet, I'm fine with it. And honestly, the addition, like Ray said, and this was something I had noticed. Ray said in the group chat, it's very like old school Bears, like 06 Bears, right? You referenced their defense, like winning the game for them, which 100% true. But the one big key difference is we didn't have Rex Grossman throwing 2 picks, and the defense still having to fucking win the game. So to me, I mean, if Ray, if you wouldn't mind getting into the sort of nitty gritty of quarterback play with me for a second, I know that this might be a little meta for the more casual listeners of this, but certain things you look at because I know how you watch the game, Ray, and I know how you watch individual athletes pretty well at this point. We've been doing this fucking podcast for long enough. I think I should. I think it's similar to how I watch them, which is I'm trying to look at the details that I should have noticed about guys that were busts before they became busts, right? So why is it that Robert Griffin couldn't sustain? Why is it that, Cam Newton fell off? Like the sort of the physicality is part of it, the footwork's part of it, but mainly it's their brain. And to me, what I saw with Caleb was, I think, there's one like moment that every rookie has where he didn't get rid of the ball when he was getting sacked. So, okay, fine, but that's rookies. And maybe I'm making excuses for him. But what I saw him make the reads. I saw him keep the offense calm. I saw him not let the world fall down around him. That was like the biggest thing. He didn't go into quicksand and let what very, very easily could have been nice replacements reference, right? Yeah. What easily could have been the world falling in on him. And I think, am I coping, or was I just like, well, he saw the guys, he just didn't make the throws? Would you rather your guy be accurate or see the pass to start, I guess?
I mean, obviously, ideally, you want both, right?
Both would be great.
Yeah.
But that wasn't an option on Sunday.
No, right, exactly. No, I think that if you're able to see where the comeback route's going or where the option route's going, and obviously film corrects that, right? Film can see like, hey, on this 3rd and 5, you missed the post there. On that 2nd and 4, you missed a chance for a screen here. Like, so they'll have that time to break stuff down. So it's all good. But I think with him, remember, I said a few weeks ago too, I thought that he was going to come out like how Cam Newton came out in 2011. Now, obviously, 93 yards, what wasn't that, but he could very well get 300 or more on Sunday. So we'll see how that unfolds. But yeah, I mean, I think that having the intangibles of like, I'm going to be that calming, steady presence. To me, that's what eventually separates the good from the great. And, it could be your hope and the rest of Chicago's fan base's hope that
I promise it is.
Yeah, he becomes that guy that not only wins game on physical talent, but thinks through the game, right? Brady thought through the game. Drew Brees thought through the game. Peyton Manning thought through the game.
Those are the guys you don't want to give the ball back
those
to.
Those are the guys that you yeah, you don't say that. Those are the guys that we hold in high regard at that position. So, you want your QB eventually to have some of those tendencies. Now, Obviously, as long as he continues to play smart, then it should be fine. And it's okay for him to lean on the defense right now because he's young in his career. So once again, as long as you play mistake free, and once again, I'd rather you take a sack and play the field position game than to throw it in the middle through defenders like Brett Favre used to do, and then
Like Will Levis did in that game. Yeah, you'd rather that for sure.
It's wild, you know what I'm saying? So, but listen, there's nothing to be, I guess, concerned or worry about. I mean, I think that there's always fans that are like me that want guys to come out the gate swinging, but that doesn't always happen. So patience is key, and once again, I think that he's going to be an awesome player. It's just a matter of time.
Bobby, I mean, same question. I mean, obviously too early to tell. It goes without saying here. We can sort of caveat that one way or the other. It doesn't. Nobody's making any calls here. And if you're on like an internet comment board right now saying, "Oh, he's a bust," or "Oh, he's great," whatever you're saying, you're not right yet. Same question though. I mean, from what you saw, footwork, intangibles, arm, I mean, there's things I noticed is still in preseason and in that game about the way he can throw a ball with off body position, with not having to set his feet, I think is an elite skill already. I think he still does two things at an elite level, like right off the bat. I really did like his brain, like Ray was saying, keeping everybody kind of calm, but what did you make of him? I mean, you don't have to sugarcoat it for me. If you really saw like a lot of broken quarterback problems, like you can tell me, and at least I'll know.
No. When you
I'll
look,
be okay.
I'll be all right, I guess.
Be okay, probably.
When you look at his abilities and the things that he can actually do with the football, it's special. So I don't feel like
okay.
Yeah, no, it's definitely special. You saw it in that preseason game, that ball he threw to Dunze. I mean, I feel like that right there is evidence that the tape's going to be out on this dude for a while. We're not going to be able to, even if he has a bad 5 games, because of that ability that he has, there's no way that we could write this dude off. There's no way.
Yeah.
No matter what. Caleb Williams is a special quarterback, and you're lucky to have him.
Yeah. And even with, because you brought up a few guys, so you brought up, the RG3.
Look how happy he is. Look how happy he is.
It should be. He should be. But you bring up the RG3s, you bring up, even Andrew Luck to an extent, right? We saw what we thought was an ascension of Andrew Luck. Then obviously because of a terrible offensive line, he essentially became punch drunk and couldn't play the position anymore. But with that,
he was really good when he was.
I was still surprised. I was still surprised when he retired. I still think
Angela's first 4 years. You were like, man, what a transition to go from Peyton Manning to Curtis Payne was involved.
Yeah.
Curtis Payne. If you know, you know. But it was for Curtis Payne and then to Andrew Luck, and it's just like, hey, it was damn near a seamless transition early on, and then obviously, unfortunately, his injuries caught up to him. But with those guys, I just think
I can sympathize with the back injuries.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can't. Once again, you can't rely on the physicality forever, and that's what happened. Same thing with Cam Newton as well. But with Cam Newton, and it was brought up in multiple interviews, and he's even brought it up too. I said, listen, whatever heart he had was snatched at Super Bowl 50. Once again, not an opinion. That's a fact. So he became a whole different quarterback after that night. So sometimes that makes people, sometimes it breaks them, and he got broke that night. So
you just transitioned from Andrew Luck to Cam Newton so fast.
Yeah, it was that whipped by me for a second.
Yeah.
You want to hear an interesting fact?
I was thinking about everybody he brought up. So sorry about that. Yeah, but yeah, that's just...
You want to hear an interesting fact, kind of a mildly interesting factoid? I shot a commercial in Indianapolis, and we were getting driven around by this guy who was like, he knew the town really well. And he was like, he kept being like, yeah, those are Manning properties. Those are Manning properties. And I was like, does Peyton Manning just own Indianapolis? He was like, oh yeah. He was like, that guy just went heavy into real estate from the time he got his rookie contract, and he just never looked back. He was like, he owns hotels, he owns restaurants, he owns housing developments. He just owns fucking the whole town of Indianapolis, basically. And I was like, damn, like people must have kind of freaked out when he went to Denver, huh? And he was like, nah, we all knew he was coming back to be like, he's basically the mayor of Indianapolis without having to like be the mayor of Indianapolis. It's why I think he doesn't want to do any broadcasting other than that Manning show, because you can do that one from home. And like, why would you, if you're Peyton Manning, why would you leave Indianapolis? I bet they bring like a gold-plated fucking carriage up to his house to take him to dinner at a restaurant he owns, whenever he goes anywhere. That's just a smart way to like play your life out. Dude's probably got the best life.
Yeah.
In Indy.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing with them in Louisiana too, though, because they're from there. And
yeah, I mean, but that's what
wild.
dynasties do, right? That's what royal families do, is they spread their power around. You know, like they're like a virus. They infect other areas of the world. It's why you hear about the British royal family having like first cousins that are like the king of Denmark. You know, it's like they just all mixed it in the fucking same pool, the sick fucks. All right. Moving on, I think we can talk. Oh, I want to just briefly, since we do have a dedicated Patriots show that Ray and Mike graciously had me on for on Monday, I should say. And you should definitely check that out, MTP Boston. But real quick, Bobby, what do you think of the chippy, punchy, fighty Pats? Like Jared Mayo maybe can like do it. Huh? I mean, yeah, they're a little frisky, and they're playing the other kind of frisky team this coming weekend in Seattle. So it's kind of it's a 10 times more interesting game than it was this time last week. So it's a frisk-off. Who's going to get frisked? Who really works for the TSA? It's the Pats versus the Seahawks, and here's Bob Kelly to tell you all about him.
I'm not. It was the worst game of the weekend, right? It was 16-10, worst game of the weekend. But I'm not sure that this game tells us much, because the Bengals just got chased back that day. They didn't know if he was going to play or not. And I'm just not sold on Jacoby Brissett as a quarterback that can bring the Pats to many more wins like this one. I feel like there were not many teams that would have beaten this past Sunday, and the Bengals just didn't play that well. I know
Bobby was the lone dissenting voice that we needed on the show on Monday for someone to be like, it was because the Bengals were terrible, right?
Yeah, I mean, the only pushback I'd give on that is I mean, Carolina did play Sunday and they lost by 30. So
that's true. To like a not very good.
That was the worst game of the weekend. I'm like, I don't know about that, but
at least that game was fun to watch. Some big plays and stuff.
I mean, to lose almost by 40.
The Pats had the one drive where they looked very impressive. I think they what 97 yards or something like that. It's like 11 plays.
Yeah, and
it was like 80, I think. But yeah, it was the opening one that finished.
No, no, but I mean, listen, the offense for now. The offense for now in the foreseeable future is obviously not going to be something to write home about, and you know we went into detail about that on Monday. But that defense looked of the past too. It looked like the defense that we used to have. They say, hey, it doesn't matter. You're not scoring on us. We may not score much, but you're not scoring on us. And they shut them out in the first half, and then obviously they got 10 in the second half. But timely turnovers, timely tackles, like they kept guys in front of them. Like that's what you're looking for going forward. Now, once again, there's going to be games where they look out of whack. It's going to happen because they're a younger team, but we'll see if they stay disciplined. But like I said, overall, for a guy who, like I said, I'm on a record saying they get go 2-15. I still believe they're not going to be that good. But once again, for Sunday, which is where we're speaking in a moment, you know, I thought that they had a good enough performance to warrant those being spoken about.
Yeah, no, they were definitely on the honorable mentions. I thought about putting them in, but not quite.
No. So let me be clear. They're not top 10. They're not top 10. They're not top 10. They're not. Once again, if we were just speaking about defenses, yeah, they would have been on that list for Sunday, but not overall. No way. But
honestly, it was a good.
I appreciate the respect for the honorable mention, but it's like there's no way that they're not yet.
We'll see how the NFL every year. It's weird as fuck every year. You never know. They could be 4-0 in a couple weeks.
It's a very weird league. Yeah, it's very weird.
Well, that's a great transition point, though, defense, because number 10 on our power rankings list, if you guys want to just get into it, are the Pittsburgh Steelers. Longtime listeners of this show do know that it's the Steelers. It's harder. It's 1.5 times harder for the Steelers to make the power rankings and move up them than any other team in the NFL. So it is actually a big compliment that they've made this power rankings team list by coming out and shutting down everybody's favorite offseason team, the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah. Unfortunately, it looks like they signed a zombie version of Kirk Cousins to that contract. It looks like he cannot move. It was very stiff a performance. It was, yes, using the skill players that we were begging them to use all last season, but not effectively enough when playing against what I would say is an elite defense in Pittsburgh.
Might be the
That is,
number one defense. It might be the number one defense.
it
The
might be the
defense.
number one defense. I agree. I think
Adding Patrick Queen to that defense is unfair because they were already really fucking good.
that, and also they were pretty beat up at the end of last season, to be honest. Like they had a lot of injuries and still performing at a high level. And, they arguably have the best. I mean, if the Browns continue to play like they're going to play, there's a good shout for Watt Defensive Player of the Year if he continues to play like that, surrounded by those guys and to produce that level. They robbed him of 2 turnovers in that game for really like soft calls, and the referees. I mean, we could do a whole podcast on them this weekend. It was in my opinion not a good performance overall. So, but who wants to fucking talk about the referees? It doesn't matter. They still won the game. They weren't robbed of the game. I think the Falcons might have just gotten the life choked out of them by the Steelers. I think that's the kind of game the Steelers can play, especially early on, because their unit's been together for a long time. They're drilled well by a head coach in Mike Tomlin that I think we all have at least some modicum of respect for, even though you might be waiting for him to have his first fall-off season. I think the way that they're put together, I'd be pretty excited about their D, and it looks like Fields may have stolen the starting position with a little dynamic quarterback play, which I'd be happy about that too, because I like that guy. Najee Harris can actually run in an.
I would have liked to see a touchdown, but
yeah. I mean, yeah, agreed. They kicked a lot of field goals, but Najee Harris can actually kind of run, and maybe if you give him a few weeks, we might actually see something out of that offense. At least not losing them games. So, Bobby, what made you put the Pittsburgh Steelers at number 10 out of all those superlatives I just cast out, or maybe what I missed?
Defense. The defense is unbelievable. I think I don't think the Falcons are going to be as bad as they were this past Sunday. I really think that we're going to see the Steelers do this to a lot of teams this year. So if they're playing, if the Steelers are playing, all I'm saying is the under is a good bet.
Oh, always.
You know what I mean?
Always a good bet on the Steelers.
Then when it comes to Fields, like I said, I would have loved to see them get in the end zone. I think Najee Harris is the perfect back for Arthur Smith. Perfect back for this dude. He knows exactly how to use him. He knows exactly what he's doing. Steelers are a good sleeper team for the AFC. I know I've, had my history against the Pittsburgh Steelers, but this year, for some reason, I have a feeling about them strictly because of that defense, man. Yeah. I feel like it's like you and the Cowboys with me and the Steelers defense. I think Patrick Queen to that defense with Minka, with Joey Porter Jr. That defense is stacked.
Ray, they're playing the Broncos this week in one of the later slate games. The Broncos looked
could be a shutout.
Not great against a Seahawks team who probably aren't that good either. If we're going by conventional wisdom, you mentioned Bo Nix. Me and Mike said he looked fine overall. You said he fucking coughed up 2 picks, so that's not that fine. First start, but also a little less leash because he's 800 years old. Where do you stand on how this game is going to go? What'd you make of the Steelers over the weekend, and are they going to be 2-0 at the end of this matchup?
Yeah, I think we mentioned that the other night. I think today I feel like it was a clean sweep that we said that Pittsburgh was going to win. I mean, listen, when you have the guys that they have on defense, like holding Atlanta to 10 points really shouldn't be a surprise. But once again, if you're potentially dealing with the corpse of Kirk Cousins, once again, for say what you will about him in the postseason, like he's been a decent regular season performer.
Yeah, but he didn't look the same though, like physically.
No, fact, exactly. So I mean, I think that that's the part of it, and then obviously just when you play that defense that plays physical, that's going to be the result. So I mean, listen, Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, those are guys that are going to get theirs eventually. I also think that Arthur Smith, even though being a coordinator in Pittsburgh, he knew all the personnel, but that basically is his team, right? So it's clear that they sat with him and go, look, what are their tendencies, where they like to go, stuff like that. So it worked. And once again, anything was going to be an upgrade for Matt Canada, right? Anything. Like the 4 of us, 5 of us on here could have been in that position and it would have been better than Matt Canada was last year. So, running and defense has been their staples long before we were born. It won't be the Franco Harris, Rocky Blyer days, but they're gonna make some noise. So we're gonna see. I mean, like I said, I thought that I don't think their record was gonna be that good this year, but that was contingent on Russell Wilson. But if like I said if Fields is gonna play and do enough to keep them in it, then hey, let's let's see what
Is Fields the starter?
Yeah, he's
he should be starting on Sunday. Yeah, like I said, I said 8-9 when we did our prediction show, so you go back and listen to that as well.
I was begging Mike for more wins in that prediction show for the Steelers, and it's because it's a safe bet that this podcast is always going to be like 3 games worse on them than their actual record reflects. By the end.
Yeah.
Everyone fucking hates them, so it's just how it happens.
It was contingent because I'm off the Russ bandwagon. Like once again,
you were mad at Russell Westbrook. Yeah, you're mad at him because he married Sierra.
He can't play no more. He can't play.
I know it was because it was that year that you drafted him, and I was like, "Bad move, dude. He's clapped." And you were like, "Fuck that. He's gonna be good," and he sucked.
right. So,
now you're mad at him.
But yeah, so I'm just like, that was.
Yeah, Wilson's benched. Fields is in, and I think Mike Tomlin basically said he's not hurt anymore. He's just not starting. So there you go.
He was dressed.
He was dressed. Yeah, he was. He was dressed on Sunday. I mean, it's probably the better position to be in, to be honest with you. Like, let's see what Fields can do, and if he craps out, then like we got a veteran to put in. Okay, great. I thought that went relatively well. Bobby, the Billy Bob Thorntons of Buffalo. The Buffalo Bills are your number 9 team. A little Jekyll and Hyde on Sunday. I do think that's still a flawed football team. I don't think that they've really been able to figure out what they've needed to figure out to get Josh Allen playing mistake-free football late in the year. But he still has the ability to ball out. And I felt like not the first time I had seen the Bills do something like that. So what did you see overall in that Buffalo team? Can you make anything out of first half performance that's so different from a second half performance? Do you need to see more, or are they just here on talent? Why are they number 9?
So a little bit of both. I mean, you saw them have to come back against a very flawed Cardinals team. If they had dominated them, they'd probably be higher up this list because of the talent that they do have, but they didn't. So that's why they're number. Where did I put them? Number 9.
9.
Yeah. So sorry, my computer did something.
Ray, they're going in to play the Buffalo Bills are going in to play the Miami Dolphins. It's an interdivisional issue that these teams have with each other. The Dolphins didn't look super great across like 3 quarters, to be honest, but they also pulled it out in the end. A game they probably should have won more handily. Hopefully no one gets arrested on the Raiders stadium this time. Did see that body cam footage, fully blaming the cops in that situation. Those guys are complete pricks. Yes. Like way over escalated the situation. I hope they all get fucking fired.
To add on to that real quick, right? Because I'm seeing, and we do this as a society, so I'm guilty of it in the past as well. So I don't want to absolve myself either. We talk about people's past when things happen, right? So people see the video, well, he's done this and he's done this to people and did this to his kids, so on and so forth. And once again, that is wrong. But 2 wrongs will never, ever make a right. And what we saw Sunday, as you just pointed to, was egregious. So the fact that he's on the ground, and once again, on University, I know exactly where that's at. I know exactly where he was at when they had him down. He's literally,
and there's probably a big sign of Tyreek Hill right there.
Yeah, he was literally around the corner from the stadium. So I know exactly where he was at. And it was essentially a power trip. Like it was
100%.
There's no other way to describe.
They said to each other on the body cam, you can hear them go, "That's Tyreek Hill," to each other, right? So that immediately, like, I think, like, now I don't think you're acting normally or how you normally would in this situation, whatever.
No, not at all.
I think, I saw a lot of that commentary as well of like, he's a piece of shit, blah 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 blah. Cops don't get to make that distinction or decision when they're pulling people over for a traffic stop. If that was the case, then anytime a cop pulled somebody over, they could litigate them for a crime they've already been fucking like litigated for. I don't care if you're an asshole, you have rights. You know what I mean? Like people, I'm not excusing his behavior, but it should be part of the conversation. It shouldn't be part of the conversation about this incident.
It shouldn't be.
It has nothing to do with it.
We do that collectively, and it's like it's wild to me that that's where the conversation went. But I won't say I was surprised that sounded
It
negative.
always goes there, though. It always does.
You said what?
I said it always goes there.
No,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. So I
But
mean,
it's also everybody's
I'm
gonna
glad-
everybody's gonna rock out those tropes too of like,
Yeah.
oh well, I don't know, like I didn't see what happened a minute before the tape started rolling, or like, well, why didn't he just comply, or like, oh well, he's actually a massive piece of shit, or like I saw people being like, why'd he roll his window up, and I'm like, to call his fucking lawyer because he could see the situation was like going south on him no matter what he did.
Mhm.
And I think that's a difference that people really need to understand in these situations when you watch these videos. You got to make sure to recognize that no matter what this person does, this situation is going this way. Like
Right.
that's what's going to happen, right? Like it's these cops are fucking pathological. And obviously, I don't know if homeboy, if the leader was overwhelmed, if the traffic, he can't, get his shit together. He got freaked out. Maybe Tyreek was going fast. I don't know. But that dude shouldn't be
He
a
is
cop if
pretty
he can't keep his
fast.
if he can't keep his fucking vagina in check. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I don't. It's like you got to de-escalate, brother. That's your fucking job. Like you keep shit
Yep.
cool. You don't
Yep.
make shit go worse. Like what the fuck? It was only a 6-week course to get your job. I get it. So you're like probably very fucking undertrained for this situation, but you came off like a
Mhm.
prick as far as I'm concerned in that video. And I love that Tyreek Hill basically stunting it on him because he fucking went to the Super Bowl or went to the fucking stadium, caught a touchdown
Scored a
pass, did a
touchdown.
fucking I'm getting arrested celebration and fucking
Yeah.
peaced out. So
That's
at the end
great.
of the day, I think the fucking lawyers for the Dolphins should be all over this fucking police department, to be honest. Like,
Mhm.
I think with this body cam footage is damning as fuck. I think they should have been before the body cam footage even came out. But yeah, I mean, you got to remind these cops they have fucking cameras on them.
Yep. Love that. But what's also cool is how Josh Allen came back in the second half. So we'll transition right back to that. He did what he had to do when it was required, and that's what he normally does, right? I mean, I know he has that gunslinger mentality, and
How
some
the
people.
fuck did we get onto Tyreek Hill just now? I don't
I
even
don't
know.
know. It happened. It happened, though.
We saw what the Bills facing the Dolphins, and
Oh,
just,
that's right. Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
And so
Sorry, the Dolphins are the next guys on the list.
It was relevant because it is a sports topic. It is something that other pundits have talked about. So we will too, and we've never shied away from anything on here, which is why I appreciate doing it. When we have it. So, and if anyone has an issue and they listen, like I said when they said about you,
I mean,
when
it happened, dude. It happened. Like it
Yeah.
happened.
It happened. So
Like,
get over it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, hey,
if you're mad about people talking about it and not like mad at the cops that like acted that way,
Right.
then
Yeah.
you got to check
Yeah,
yourself.
it's like it's just you're a joke. But yeah. So, but no,
I'm
but
surprised you guys don't think the Bills should be higher on this list.
I think
I've never trusted them. There's
Yeah.
always been something really weird about their offense, and I think he can fuck up and lose any game. It's weird, but it's true.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he just like Burrow gets a lot of cachet off one game, right? That's the best game I've seen in the last 10 years, probably.
No, he balled out,
He was amazing.
and he can do that.
I think
I'm not saying he can't do that.
No, I know, but I'm saying no, but just nationally, he got put on that pedestal of like, oh, like if he just had a little bit more time, he could do this, he could do that, and it's like, yo, like, are we rooted in opinion or are we rooted in what actually happened? Because what actually happened was that him and his team lost the game. So let's speak about that. Not what if could have happened, not hypothetically this, hypothetically that. The fact is that they lost. Once again, he played a great game and he's a great player, but they've fallen short. And they're approaching the status of their forefathers. So
Yeah, I was gonna say they're gonna become the Buffalo Bills of the
Yeah.
NFL.
right. The Jay Kellys, the Bruce Smiths, the Thurman Thomases, Andre Reeves, you know what I'm saying? So that's what they're becoming. And once again, they get loved up there because of making first Super Bowl, which is crazy. Like that's an amazing feat. But now winning it is that you become the Chicago Cubs, you become lovable losers, and no one wants to be in that predicament. So, but yeah, I think that's why I think 9 is perfect for them. They deserve to be there because once again, regular season wise, they're always going to show up. It's just a matter of what's going to happen come January.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see about them. Like, it's just, I guess to me, they're always. I'm not going to fight for them to be higher on the power rankings list because at any time you can just factor in that you don't want your power rankings list to heavily feature or highly feature a team that's probably going to fucking shoot their own dick off in the playoffs. So, I get it. It's that to add on to Ray's cachet point, like, I think this is probably the year if they don't do it or get there, that people are going to start to ask those questions more seriously. We're probably a little ahead of the curve on it. We do a sports podcast, but also they're in your guys' division. So there's a little bit of a closer watch on them maybe than with other also rans.
Craig and I said it in 2020 when we started this. Like, I was like, yo, I said, when Brady left, I said he was going to be the guy in the division. He has been, right? So we once again, we were ahead of the curve with that too. If he was like, no, what are you talking? You guys are crazy. I'm like, no, like that play that he had against, I think, Minnesota, where he jumped over the linebacker. I was like, oh, like this. I was like, oh, I said, if he ever gets a receiver that he could play with, like, it's a wrap. And it was for a little bit.
I hate to say it. I really genuinely hate to say it, but I know that they lost, but they might have lost to like the best team in the NFL.
What?
Potentially, the Jets. And I think that Aaron Rodgers might be the guy in that division right now, to be honest. Because like I know he didn't have the best game in the world. He's not exactly the same.
He should be the guy in the division. He
made some throws in that game that I was like, all right, yeah, I think he's still got like a good amount of arm talent. Like,
but that's what I was saying to y'all the week before, and I was like, once again, I'm not putting the cape on for Aaron Rodgers, like, because I hate the argument that popped up about him being better than Brady. So when that happens, I get defensive and I get pissed off. So
that's not an argument any sane person's making.
No, but I'm saying for
your Super Bowl.
No. For a while, there was some people that felt that way. So I'm just,
I know.
I'm just
you're
like,
just
I don't want to get
bars. You're just in the wrong bars, my friend.
Dave, I'm in a good mood, so I don't want to get upset. But yeah,
quickly, just real quick, Bob. What did you make of the Jets and Rodgers and his guy? Like basically the first time with that Saleh team. I mean, Saleh might suck is the problem there, but he's got to retire in the next year or so. So, what do you make of that whole situation? Yeah, like I think they could win 8 games, or they could potentially win 11 games.
Well, not to be a spoiler, but they did play one of the best teams in the NFL. So
yeah,
I don't think it's not too much to write home about. I did think that, like you said, Rodgers made some good balls in that game. And even though he's 40, listen, the dude's 40 years old, and he hasn't played in about exactly a year, and he played the best defense in the NFL.
The last time he threw for 300 yards, I just want to put it in perspective. The last time he threw for 300 or more yards in a game was the winter of 2021.
Wow. No shit.
So if you are kind of writing him off, that might be okay. But at the same time, I saw a couple of throws where I'm like, I don't know if a lot of guys can do that. Like still a couple of those.
Well, I mean, that's
he made enough throws that the biggest Rodgers hater of all time, David Clarke, is sitting here telling us that he thinks that the division still goes through Aaron Rodgers.
No, listen,
or does go through. Not still does go through Aaron Rodgers.
When he's on, he carves up people like no other. So that's I'm giving him his respect in that moment. But I don't know. To me, once again, I'm thinking, I think about, we've gone through the Chad Pennington, Mark Sanchez.
Never seen one. Yeah, we've never seen one.
We never seen, obviously Brett Favre was okay for that 1 year there in a Jets uniform, but we just
didn't even make the playoffs that year though.
Yeah, it's like, when we were kids, Vinny Testaverde, and before us, Ken O'Brien, Boomer Esiason, like it's been nothing since Joe Namath. And Cry just kept, not to burst anyone's bubble, Joe Namath wasn't really that good either. He just he caved in and won a game that he guaranteed, but his numbers weren't great. But that's another story for another day. But I don't know.
Joe Namath kicks fucking ass, dude. That guy's cool as fuck.
Maybe it's just a Jets curse. Who knows?
Is he still kicking?
Namath? Yeah, I think he's
still as far as I know, yeah. So, I love the coast, but hey.
All right, well, moving right along, the Dolphins we kind of touched on already briefly. Start of the year though, I'm learning not to trust them as the weather gets worse. They looked a little underprepared, but underprepared against the Jacksonville team that I thought was also a little underprepared. And I'm actually sort of high on this Jacksonville team this year. I think it's a little make or break at the QB position. So when you're sort of, I kind of do believe in him talent wise. So I think it's going to make, not break. And there was just some good moments in that game, but it's a game the Dolphins should have been winning, probably by more by the time that they actually had to turn around and get it done. So I understand why they're on the list. Obviously, I think they're probably still the most talented at skill positions by a lot in the NFL. You hear, A-Chain has ribs or whatever the fuck. And then you look and you're like, oh, they got 30 other guys. They'll be fine. So they're very stacked at the offensive position. I understand why they are where they are. But Bobby, would you say that you think they're going to go up? Are they going to get better? Are they going to get better before they get worse? Or are they going to get worse?
Well, I think that we're in, if we were to tier out these power rankings, I think we're in the tier right now where these teams are just going to flip flop all season long. The team that's in front of them, the Dolphins, the Bills, the Steelers, all these teams are just going to be teams that are just going to flip around 6 to 10 all season long because they're the exact same thing. The teams that win in the regular season and teams that we don't necessarily trust when it comes to playoff time versus the teams that we do trust during playoff time. And I just feel like that always takes precedent when it comes to these lists.
And that's the thing though, like but okay, say if they ran the table and were either the 1 or 2 seed, talk about Miami, right? And say let's just say they're the 1 seed and Kansas City was a 2 somehow, somewhere, right? Do we not think just because because Miami's home, that they would automatically win?
We saw that with Baltimore last year, though.
I'm saying, but we talk about the weather. I'm saying, you don't think Pat would come in there and throw for 450 when there's no weather to worry about? Are you kidding me? And on South Beach, what? and then go to Tootsie's after? If you know, you know. are you kidding me? Like it would be a wrap. So I don't know. I don't trust. And once again, Miami can get you at any given time. I'm talking about just the city. Like, so if you're out there, it'd be better for them to be at home because hey, let me be hospitable to you. Let me take you to Tootsie's. Let me take you to G5. Let me take you to let me take you to BT's. Let me do that because I'm telling you that the city itself can get you, but I don't consider Hard Rock a home field advantage. And I know because I've been to a few games there, like the visiting team usually comes in there and dominates. Now, if it's the U, the collegiate team, that's different because the U was number 1 down there by far. But I don't fear. If I'm a visiting team coming in for January, I wouldn't fear going into Hard Rock at all. And that, once again, not disrespectful. It's just the truth.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to agree, especially, I mean, and I think all the weather stuff and the time of year stuff factors in. And I do agree with you, Bobby, that this list, the tier that we're in, we're sort of stuck in the dredges of like teams with a lot of talent, but like serious flaws in some way, shape, or form, in a way that makes us not 100% trusting of their championship credentials. Even though a lot of these teams, you could see them becoming a Super Bowl team with a couple of additions. You could see them becoming a Super Bowl team with by getting over the hump on 1 or 2 things, whatever the case may be. But I'm a little, I guess, curious what you would classify the next tier as then, or if we're even into it. Maybe the Cowboys fall into this category as well because they're there at number 7. Yeah, obviously, they balled out. They looked really good. But again, it's that same thing of like flat track bullies looking really good in the first few weeks. Dak signed his contract. Like, I feel like I sort of on some level knew the Cowboys were going to come smack them when that contract news came out because they're like weirdly that kind of team where it's like, Dak, look how nice Dak's jacket is week 1. Look how nice Dak's contract is week 1. Everything is looking great. But like your backfield is still atrocious. And
Zeke was eaten. No, Zeke was eaten.
I would say that you have an extremely underperforming Browns team ahead of you on that fateful Sunday as well. I mean, they looked really bad. If you're going to say about the Pats that the Bengals fucking folded like a cheap Dynaware set, then I would have to maybe make the same argument for the Cleveland Browns. I mean, I think that might have been the worst quarterback performance I've ever seen in my life. I genuinely think it might be the worst one.
Deshaun Watson does not look good.
My friend, he is not an NFL player anymore. That's a fact. That it's done. I don't know. Unless somehow his friends gather together into a plucky group, go and defeat the Monstars in a backyard football game and get his talent back and let him touch the football to get it back into his body, he looks like he's never played football before. Genuinely. Right. He looks like he's never fucking played football before. So, and I don't think the Cowboys are making him look like that. I mean, I thought Trayvon Diggs had a really good day, but otherwise, and the defense was good and all, but like really what happened is you guys could do whatever you want offensively because their defense just didn't show up to the game. And Deshaun Watson was the worst fucking player in the world that day.
over 10 on any passes over 15 yards.
That's crazy.
Insane.
Yeah, he was really bad.
That's Mac Jones level. Like it's wild.
Wow.
I had to. I'm sorry. I'm still healing.
Quick shout out to Brandon Aubrey, who did make a 66-yard field goal, but because of a penalty, it got taken off the board.
That was bullshit. That was a
Yeah.
crazy kick.
Yeah, and then they thought about going for a 70-yarder too. Even after that, they thought
Might
about
as well.
going for a 71-yard field goal.
Why not go for it? Right? No, but
Sweet.
as far as what I saw, I mean, listen, I mean, Dallas came out and dominated. I mean, I didn't think it was gonna be like that, but I mean, I think we had picked. I think we had all picked Dallas to win last week. I think, if I'm mistaken.
Yeah.
I just don't think.
I mean,
I just didn't think it was gonna. I didn't think it was gonna be by 2 scores like that. That's a lot. But once again, if you're gonna come in and the guy that you paid $230 million, and you know, talk about it, Watson is basically gonna have a no-show, then yeah, like, and it may be time, right? Like, you know, and I've heard on other shows, said, you know, the last couple of days, it might be time for Jameis Winston to be in there. And from an entertainment standpoint, I'm here for it.
I'm all for that.
I would totally be on board seeing him lead that team. Cause I think everywhere you go, they rock with Jameis. I would love for him to have a redemption story and get Cleveland to the playoffs. I think that would be amazing.
I mean, Joe Flacco did it.
That'd be better than
Jameis.
Flacco did last year. That'd be better. It'd be better.
Yeah, Flacco went on a pretty crazy run, I have to say.
He won't come back player of the year, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Words are fucking stupid. But yeah, I mean, look, old man Joe Flacco did come in there and save the day, but Deshaun Watson can't play football anymore. That's just a fact. He's all done. It's going to be arm soreness or fucking chest tightness or fucking massage-itis or whatever the fuck by week 3. You watch. He's not.
Those massages really meant that much to him. That's crazy.
I guess so. I mean, he's got a fucking problem, and also you're not going to see him playing football by the time snow hits the ground, if not sooner. So moving right along, this is probably my biggest question mark.
Go Cowboys. Go Cowboys.
What'd you say? Oh, go Cowboys. Yeah, I mean, good luck. Good luck. You know, I'm not taking anything away from you guys, but the Texans at 6. Are we sure the Texans are the 6th best team in the NFL? Are we 100% sure they look like the 6th best team in the NFL? Was there a little preseason hype that affected this categorization, Bobby? Or are you really sticking by this one? I mean, I know you love Stroud, but
I mean,
the 6th best team. I mean, they're going to play the Bears on Sunday night, so I would love it if they were. But
they played a very frisky Colts team. It was a great.
I do like this Colts team. I do. I didn't think that the Texans looked as good as everyone thought they were going to look week 1.
Listen, if you're going to have 178 yards from Joe Mixon on a weekly basis, Texans are going to be doing a lot of damage in the NFL this year. With that passing core that they have, if Joe Mixon can get almost 200 yards all purpose every single game, they're going to be doing a lot of damage. They're going to have a lot of trouble beating a team that has CJ Stroud at quarterback when you can run the ball that effectively. So, yes, they could be a little overblown, but I think that they are by themselves in this middle tier of like more upside than the rest of the teams that are below them, but just so much unknown that they can't break into that upper tier yet. You know what I mean?
Well, they're playing the Bears on Sunday. Based on what you saw from both teams, how do you think that's going to go? Sunday night, primetime.
That's a good primetime game. I like that a lot. It depends. I mean, it depends what offense shows up for the Bears, because that game could get out of hand quick if the Bears offense that shows up this past week shows up again on Sunday. I think you're in a lot of trouble. I don't think the defense. I don't think that you could do what you did to. Who'd you guys play on Sunday again?
Tennessee.
Titans.
Tennessee, right? I don't think you can do it to them like you did to the Titans.
I'm on the other side of the spectrum with that. Like, I feel I found with them being at 6, and I can't remember who I picked the other night for to win, but I think it's going to be a shootout.
It's going to be a shootout, yeah.
It's going to be a shootout. Like,
I think we're going to stop the run. I don't think Mixon's going to have the same day.
No, I'm saying I'm not forgetting about the run game. I'm saying it's going to be. A shootout. Like,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, I think I'm agreeing with you, because I think it could go that way, because I don't think we're going to let Mixon have the day that he had.
DJ Moore, and I'm a Cole Kmet guy. I'm telling you. And then on the other side, obviously with Schultz and Diggs and Dell and Collins, like it's about to get scary. Like, I can easily see 31-28 Sunday night. Easily.
Diggs had a hell of a day.
Easily.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice for him. He's like the 3rd wide receiver over there. second wide receiver over there. Like, when has he ever had that? He doesn't need to be the whole fucking offense. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm nervous. I would love for you guys to pay. I hope I'm not jinxing him by saying this, but I'd love for you guys to pay extra attention to our guy who wears the number 1 now that Justin Fields is gone, Jalen Johnson. He's our number 1 corner. He's gonna cover whoever they think their best receiver is, but they leave him 1-on-1 with whoever. So it's gonna be fun watching him match up. He had Calvin Ridley on Sunday, and I thought he did really good. Just for the whole game, just shutting him down. I don't think you heard much from him.
I would put him on Diggs. I know that people, but I might.
I think he's really good 1-on-1. I mean, the rumors were he was keeping Keenan Allen to 0 receptions in camp, so that's always a good sign. And Keenan Allen did drop a fucking touchdown pass in that game, by the way. I'm just put that out there. So I don't want to put everything on Caleb Williams.
I wouldn't get used to. And that was one of the surest receivers.
No, I know. It was a freak occurrence. It was just wasn't meant to be. But I'm just not putting it all on Caleb, is what I'm saying. But yeah, I mean, I think it'll be frisky. We got some talent. Let's see how it goes. We got to get Swift moving the ball though. We got to be able to establish the run because our running game just couldn't get off the ground. So if we can just lead with that and start and just block well for the run, we might be okay. But again, I mean, the Titans, they're not a great team, but they do have a good interior defensive line. Like, they just do have that. So if they have anything at all. All right, well, cool. I mean, I maybe am trying to talk myself out of the Texans being good because I'm nervous for this Sunday night primetime game, but I'm also excited and looking forward to it. I hope that we don't shit the bed on TV. The Eagles, Bobby, a lot of people, they're at number 5. A lot of people had the Eagles maybe finally falling apart from their Super Bowl era of recent times. I think it's completely fair that they're number 5 on this list, especially when you look at the other teams ahead of them. But I thought they looked like one of the sure teams out there, to be honest with you. I think they really look like they had forgotten about the end of last season, and their identity was firmly back in the driver's seat. And the addition of Saquon Barkley looks fucking scary, if I'm being honest. So I think I texted you guys something along the lines of like, the Giants front office are all committing fucking murder suicide right now. Like, as they watch Saquon Barkley fucking just score. He could have had more. To be honest. I think one got taken back for like a bullshit reason, and then they scored it in a different way. I think he had 3 TDs. He could have had 4. That offensive line is still elite, like Ray was saying. Their defense look like they're still doing their job. I mean, I think the Eagles are a contender.
Yeah. No, you said it best. You just literally went over all those reasons. Saquon on this team is terrifying. I gotta say, it scares the shit out of me that Saquon Barkley is running the ball for the Eagles now.
They add every year. They add somebody.
They do.
Yeah, it's insane.
They do.
It's unreal. Like, I'm like, where's Jeffrey Lurie? Like, it's unbelievable that every March they add someone of that's a good caliber player. Like, it's unbelievable.
I mean, even in the draft, they somehow get top 10 players every single year.
They draft everyone fucking Georgia. The Kobe
Jordan, Jordan Davis.
Yeah, like Reed Blankenship. Like, it's out of control.
Yeah,
out of control.
Blankenship is that he's like the only white defensive back in the entire NFL. I swear to God.
Yeah, he's the only one I can think of.
Yeah,
he's the only one.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Crazy.
The Ravens, I think it's totally fair that they're here at number 4, to be honest, because I think they played a the only
0-1 team on the list.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that they played an extremely a better than last year.
They lost by a toe. So
they lost by a toe. The Chiefs are still really good. They got better. They added a new ready-made Tyreek Hill, it looked like, in the first game. The Ravens game, they played hard. Lamar led his team. He played really hard. Like, I know that he missed that Zay Flowers throw at the end of the game. I know that. And I'm not saying that you can't, you gotta be making that throw. But I thought he was the thing keeping him in it, playing against a really fucking good Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs team in the hardest place to go in the first game of the fucking season. Like, Taylor Swift in the fucking crowd, psyching you out with their terrible songs. Everything was against them. There was no way they were winning that game. And then 15 fucking offsides penalties in a row for a guy that's just completely standing in a completely totally fine place. Just fine. He was absolutely fine where he was standing. He was just fine. And we just had to call that fucking play. We had to call that penalty 16 fucking times in a row. Shortened week. I mean, honestly, I think that, spoiler alert, the Kansas City Chiefs are the number one team on this list because Bobby stopped kidding himself finally. But at the end of the day, they deserve to be there, and I'm not taking anything away from them. I mean, are we really going to shit hard on the Ravens? The Ravens are going to rattle off double-digit wins this year after that game. So that's what I saw.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, the
We
only
saw I saw the two best teams in the NFL playing. That's what it was.
Niners.
Two of the best teams in the NFL playing.
I was going to say, you literally have the Niners at 2.
No,
So,
yeah. So two of the best teams.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, Baltimore for the most part played really well. Once again, it was cool to see Lamar go on that type of drive because we haven't really seen that from him in his career, especially against Kansas City. And it's funny, right? Like, once again, you know me, I'm always going to go back to the past. Like, once again, we grew up in the Tony Gonzalez, Elvis Grbac, Derek Thomas, then Trent Green, Priest Holmes, Dante Hall, Eddie Kennison, Joe Horn. Like, Joe Horn was normally, excuse me, but there was a Horn that played for them. I forget who it was. But anyways, we would just hear about them being really talented, but you didn't really hear about Arrowhead being this house of horrors, right? Because they was always losing to another team that was better, whether it was Denver or somebody else in the division, right? Or another team that was getting the AFC. But now when you have the guy, not a guy, but the guy at the position, now they're just, they're unbeatable damn near at Arrowhead, unless you're Brady or Burrow. So like it's unbelievable. It's crazy.
Yeah. I think we're in a good position here to do the I'm gonna fuck with the game that we play at the end of the season here because I don't know, I don't have to actually. We got 2 NFC teams and 2 AFC teams.
Perfect.
So if right now the AFC championship for the top 4 being number 1 Chiefs, 2 49ers, 3 Detroit Lions, I think deserved and we'll go on to talk about them before we wrap it up tonight. And number 4 Ravens. If the Chiefs and the Ravens were right now in the AFC championship games, considering the Chiefs have already beaten the Ravens in a head-to-head, we'll give it to them at Arrowhead. And the 49ers are playing the Lions, I'd say more than likely in San Francisco. Who do you think's coming out of each conference matchup if it happens tomorrow, Ray?
Kansas City and Detroit.
Interesting.
Like,
Interesting. I mean, the 49ers looked really good.
Without question. Kansas City and Detroit, we were very close to getting that last year. And once again, they came in there and won in Arrowhead in week 1 last year. So I think that they would have
different looking Chiefs.
both teams I felt looked different towards the end of the year. I think that catapulted what the Lions were starting to become after that win last year. Teams get immense confidence after winning against Kansas City, regardless of where the location is. But yeah, I think, like I said, as Mike says, gun to my head, like we should right now, I'm going with KC and Detroit. And I think
so you don't think, despite the fact that the Niners did it to them last year, and the fact that the Lions looked like they were kind of ready to make some mental mistakes against the Rams this past week, and I know that they got it done and in good fashion too in overtime, but should they have been in that position in the first place might be a fair question to level at them. You think even with all that in play, and even though we've seen it, you think the Lions now have a different enough mentality to get it done, not make the stupid mistakes they made against the Niners maybe in the last game?
The only reason why I would say it would be their time for revenge is because I think that would be the reminder the whole week coming to that, right? If they look, this is what we did last year. This is where we made this mistake here. This is where I, as the head coach, made a mistake last year. We're not getting the points and not doing this, not doing that. So I think if you clean those mistakes up and you play your brand of football, then yeah, you should be representing the NFC in the Super Bowl because I thought they were a little bit better than San Fran coming in to that game last year a little bit at that moment. It was they just felt it just felt like it was a magical run for them at that moment, and it was right. First time they had been to a conference championship, I think since like 1957 at the time, and once again, San Francisco, has been like our Celtics until this year. They kept knocking at the door, back at the door. So until they show that they can get over the hump, once again, they've gotten there, a few times, but actually win it. I don't know. I just think to me, they've become the revolving door for teams to get to the next level. And until they show us something different.
Bobby, can you mount any sort of defense for the Frisco kids here? I mean, I thought they put in a pretty decent performance without even needing Christian McCaffrey. That's impressive, no?
Yeah. But yeah, that's great, but
backup had 143 yards.
It doesn't matter. Guess we'll never know.
Yeah, that's some system shit. Like it's wild.
That's it, man.
It's
But the thing is it doesn't need to be system shit because this week they're gonna have Christian McCaffrey playing. So that's why it's the 49ers. It's I love the Lions, but the 49ers are the class of the NFC. They're the only team that, if anyone's going to take down the Chiefs, it's the 49ers. No?
Well, there you have it. I mean, I think they almost did it last year. It's just Pat Mahomes is Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes has more weapons now. And spoiler alert, he's probably going to win another one. So we did it. We went through the power rankings.
And he's got more weapons now, too.
Good weapons, it looks like. So, we're not going to kid ourselves about the Kansas City Chiefs this year. We're going to recognize how good they are. But there's a lot of interesting storylines emerging in the NFL. The Lions, the 49ers, the Lions, the Rams, some frisky teams here and there. And we might be talking about some different teams down the bottom of the list as this weekly show thunders on. But there you have it. Chiefs, Niners, Lions, Ravens, Eagles, Texans, Cowboys, Dolphins, Bills, Steelers. Those are your real BKs, missing the point, power rankings. See you next week.
Hi, I'm Sherilyn Fenn from Twin Peaks. What did you do on your last Saturday night?
Did you hear something?
Toilet paper.
There's none. Nada. The reserves have gone dry. People are hoarding it. I should have done that.
They're all out of hand sanitizer at my Target.
Mark, when did you last watch the news?
We are getting reports of forced quarantines in China, Japan, and now Italy.
You're cutting onions in half and putting them around your apartment.
Yes, exactly. It kills the COVID.
Excuse me?
Let's go. Let's go. Get in.
Vamos, rápido.
Have you ever driven one of these?
Never.
I'll drive, ladies.
I've got the keys.
Excuse me, I'm lost. I'm looking for my wife. I got turned around.
Join me, Eric Roberts, Jennifer Elise Cox, and Ed Asner for The Last Saturday Night, an Electrocast podcast. You'll love it. Electrocast. Electrocast.